Those are out of order. Oh, just the one. No bell. Mr. Lake is here. Oh, look. Good morning. How you doing? I'm trying to set an appointment with you.
Oh, sure, yeah. Good morning. It's Mr. Hendricks, right? McClintock.
McClintock,
Yes.
my bad. That's the surveyor for the county.
Yeah.
I knew it was Tony.
Right, right.
All right, so I'm trying to, I guess, go through the process of reporting some crimes.
Okay.
And I would like to do this in the most regular citizen way possible, not this larger-than-life version of Chris Throgmorton that most people tend to respond to. I would like to go through the basics beginning to end. So if that requires me to set some sort of an appointment with you to get your time, that's sort of more what I was trying to do today, I guess, to set an appointment. Nobody asked me. The young lady
Okay.
just kind of left and called you, I guess.
Okay, sure.
But to my understanding, I have 5 years statute of limitations to report a felony.
Okay.
And 2 years to report a misdemeanor. I believe that's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that's 354142 would be the Indiana code. That being said, something that would have happened in July of 2018, I presume I would be able to report as a crime as a felony until sometime in 2023. Would that be accurate?
If that's within the 5 years, correct.
Right. Okay. So, on July 3rd, 2018, the local GOP chairman, Mitch Ficus, the former GOP chairman, Mitch Ficus, tried to take my phone.
I mean, do you want to report this today, or?
No. I'm just giving you some details.
Okay.
So maybe if you want to look into some stuff, because this is going to get much deeper.
Okay, sure.
And I anticipate I'm gonna have to. I would like to respect your time as an individual investigating this. So
Sure.
I understand setting appointments, maybe giving you some context and whatnot to look into step by step along the way. Maybe we can get to the bottom of this kind
Sure.
of thing.
I'll tell you what. Let me
And
get an
excuse this, I
outline.
am apprehensive because typically, if I'm not on video, things can be questioned. So
It doesn't bother me.
all right, so
Yeah,
everybody
you're
here.
fine, you're
All
fine.
right, but yeah.
Okay, so let me get an outline of what you're looking at reporting. Okay, get some.
Now, and I bring this up because Mr. and Mrs. Lake have some sort of political conflict with Mr. Ficus due to some challenges to Christina Espar and her candidacy and whatnot.
Okay.
Mrs. Lake represented, at the time, the Democratic Party chairman, Mr. Kimmel, so there was adverse proceedings with the 2018 election. So I understand that they may have some sort of a conflict of interest with prosecuting Mr. Ficus for his role in this, but my phone ends up given to the Michigan City Police Department or the LaPorte Police Department, all of this by the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department. All of this is documented. Then it makes its way to the Michigan City Police Department, which I presume, based upon Francisco Rodriguez's involvement and Matt Barr, this would have been to the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force or the Digital Forensics Unit. DNA testing, fingerprinting, all this stuff. They spent a good bit of county money proving that this was my phone,
Okay.
and proving that I hit Mr. Ficus with it when he tried to take it. None of this is disputed. My phone, along the way, as exculpatory evidence, ends up missing, lost. I'm the only one that has a video of what happened. So in the previous proceedings, this has never been discussed, ruled on. No judge has ever even entertained of this because the video came up missing from the courts. So any issues with like collateral estoppel or prior proceedings affecting this, that's all dead. They've kind of messed that up for anybody to get that wiggle room space right there. But yes, I would like to report every step of the way where my phone goes and why. And eventually, somewhere along the lines, I need a social cue at the end that allows me as a disabled person to understand that I can't take other people's personal or private property. Because that's what I'm understanding of this right now. Somebody took my phone and it wasn't a crime because nobody's prosecuted them. I translate that into, I can start taking people's cell phones. That's not the way this is supposed to be. So I need for the prosecutor's office to prosecute people for crimes, political connections or not, because throughout Mary Lake's conversations with me, she has identified all of these things as crimes. So I got a little bit of stuff I got to gather together for you, mostly testimony from Mary Lake that says these things are crimes.
Okay.
But I would like to specifically point out that any conflict of interest claimed with any of this, I maintain as, for lack of a better word, being bullshit. Because there's no conflict with anyone else for any of these other reasons. And I believe that this is something that is being weaponized against me so that I don't have equal protection under the law. So if I can't report a crime that was committed against me because of the lake's political influences, I would like that spelled out on paper. Otherwise, I assume that the lakes are going to drain the swamp, clean up all the corruption around here, and they're going to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Because-
So correct me if I'm wrong. So I think you just said that you've got things that you want to produce, correct?
Yeah.
And
Most of this they are aware of.
Okay.
Um,
But you want
I
to
was
report
told
crimes, correct?
along the way, a lot of the times I've been told that there's nobody to investigate these crimes, and they could not do it. So I presume since they've hired you that there's no more hiccups.
Okay. Well, I mean, it could be a law enforcement agency who investigates. Okay, so it could, but I'm more than capable of investigating,
Right.
Alleged crimes.
Well, see, that's the thing is you guys are supposed to be a state office who are disconnected from all of this county and city stuff. So I would anticipate that any of the law enforcement agencies that I'm going to try to have you investigate and then subsequently prosecute would probably not be best to investigate themselves.
That makes
Ironically,
sense.
they may investigate themselves and find that they've done nothing wrong
Sure.
for like the 1100th billionth time. You're my final hope to actually believe that there is some sort of incentive for me to not start taking other people's phones. I need to understand that this is illegal, but without anybody being prosecuted for it, except me, that's kind of hard to discern.
Okay. So getting back what I had said. So you want to report crimes, but
Yeah.
so you've got evidence to produce.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
so you're looking for a
I'm
time
a walking, talking evidence room.
to. Okay. All right. So you want to set up a time to.
Sure. I don't know what your schedule is like. I have I'm doing stay-at-home dad kind of stuff right
Okay.
now since the
All right.
pandemic. I have a toddler. We basically just decided to avoid daycare and all that fun stuff and live frugally.
Solid
It's going pretty well so
Good.
far.
That's good.
But I have Wednesday afternoon free next week as
Okay.
well as Friday morning. So I could probably squeeze in an hour or two, whatever. Either.
Okay.
I'm not trying to take up too much time, but
No,
again,
not at
this
all.
is-
Not at all.
I'm pretty good at documenting and researching, and I can even give you all the Indiana codes for all the crimes that I think I'm trying to report, such as unlawful interference with computer user, computer trespass, and all this fun stuff.
Yeah, I would say that.
I would make a
if
great
you've got,
prosecutor, to be honest, from what I hear.
yeah, if you've got the evidence, tangible evidence. I mean, is it on a USB or is it on form or?
Oh, I've got it in multiple formats: YouTube,
Okay.
Facebook. I can get you USB drives, old school paperwork, however you would like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got USB, that would be
I
something.
got Adobe Scan. I can give you one big long. Some people like 5,000 pages at a
Right.
time. Some people like
Digest
pictures
a
mixed
little
in
bit
with
at a time.
that.
Sure, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, this is an art form, if I have to say so.
Sure.
So how you present information and what's done with it is all on you. If I could make it.
I was saying, I just don't want you to have to wheel in a.
No, but there's an
a
actual
case of
video
paperwork.
of this
Okay.
that I've had it slowed down and certain things highlighted as well. I've got a shorter condensed version for you, but yeah, there's a video of this.
Okay.
And from what I understand, I'm the only one who possesses it.
Okay.
Even though it was considered exculpatory evidence, it was taken from the LaPorte County Sheriff's. I was arrested. I was held on a fictitious bond hold. They wouldn't let me bond out. Then they gave my phone to the LaPorte Police Department. Then they let me bond out. Then everything was fixed. My phone gets returned to me on July 16th of 2018. No, just the way it is, the way they took it. No
Sure.
evidence bag, no paperwork, nothing. But they extracted the video, whether you want to call it the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. I mean, even though from my research, they've never done anything but drink Starbucks. I don't know that they've ever actually targeted any child offenders.
Okay.
But the digital forensics unit that it morphed into is likely who ended up with my phone. They extracted the video. The prosecutor's office had it. The clerk's office does not. The court reporter does not. The court administrator says that they don't know where it's at. So from what I can tell, I'm the only one with this video.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm not really sure how
certainly
that
say
plays
include
out
that
on
with
your
evidence.
end, because it would seem that the prosecutor's office did in fact lose or it went missing None of these things are ever really actually lost or missing. They're just temporarily lost or missing when a court date arises that they would be great to see at. But ordinarily, they can be located. They just keep shifting around. So this video is out there. The prosecutor's office may have it. You guys may have somebody that you can get it from. But I have two or three different versions I can provide you. One is much more meat and potatoes of the issue. One's like 20 minutes long.
Sure.
But I was definitely recording, which is First Amendment protected activity, a public official, which is what Mr. Ficus was, and he tried to take my phone from me. I ended up charged with battery. My self-defense claims are basically unheard and all this. But if I attacked Mr. Ficus, which I pled guilty to, so that's what we're all going with, is that when I put my hands on him, it was a crime. So I presume when he provoked that by doing the exact same thing that I did first, that was a crime. But yeah, there's a video. It's pretty much open shut. I'm assuming if he wasn't the former GOP chairman, this would have been, a lot easier to just do. But
Sure. Okay. Well, I would say, whatever evidence you've got, I'll be more than happy to meet with you. You said Wednesday. You got time?
that's just involving my phone. I got a slew of shit that you guys need to prosecute.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay, so my suggestion would be if you've got evidence of the alleged crimes that you would like to report,
Yep.
I would say, if you can get that together, you can provide that to me. I'll be more than happy to
so
meet
I
with
do
you.
have one question.
Yes.
With all the conflict of interest stuff claimed by the Lakes, do they have issues being witnesses for this? If I can reference you to them to get their statements on things that they have said to me specifically, can they still be witnesses? Can their testimony still be used by you, even though they may claim some sort of conflict of interest based upon political influence or whatever?
Yeah, that's a good question. All I can do is investigate the crimes that you're alleging occurred. And I can just go from there.
I mean, I'm trying to make sure that I understand that they're crimes.
Sure.
Because if they're not, that means that I can do them. So.
Okay. So as I said, if you can present the evidence to me, I can tell you I can look into it. I can investigate, and then we can go from there.
And as someone who's reporting a crime, what rights do I have?
In terms of what?
So I know that anytime somebody prosecutes me for some shit where I try to reform my government, the Victims Advocate's Office is more than helpful when a public official is a supposed victim. So what are my rights as a victim of what I presume to be a violent crime?
I'm certain that the Victims Advocate Office could assist you with that.
Okay.
That'd probably be a better question for that entity because
Would I need
that's
to
something
contact them
that they
myself, or do they end up? Is there some sort of mechanism that triggers, I guess, their involvement?
Well, why don't we start with this? Why don't we start with you presenting your evidence, okay? And then I can look into your allegations of what's been occurring that you're reporting, and we'll see how that progresses, and we can go from there.
All right.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right.
Thank you.
You have a good day. All right. Enjoy your weekend.
One final question. If the results of your investigation end with some sort of a conflict of interest or something, if there's something that precludes you to seeing this all the way through,
Sure.
What happens then? Does it happen like it happens with me, where there's charges filed and then it shifts around the county for like 6 months, and then somebody determines, does that conflict of interest kick in before or after there's probable cause determined?
Yeah, I'm going to use a term here. I'm going to say we're putting the cart before the horse.
Thank you.
So let's start with the beginning,
Right.
And then we'll go from there. We're getting to a point where maybe it's
I understand
this
what
is
you're
down
saying,
the line,
but
so.
in this specific scenario, it's almost like the cart is filled with explosives, and if we don't address that, it might kill the fucking horse.
Yeah. We don't want that to happen.
No, we don't. I don't want the horse to die.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So as I said, I think we're just putting the cart before the horse a little bit there. Let's start with where we need to start with, getting your the complaint
Okay.
investigated. You present your evidence to me, and then we can go from there.
Now, if I refer you to something that may be in possession of the prosecutor's office, is this part of like an investigation kind of process, or would I need to public records request that formally as well?
I mean, you're more than welcome to
I'll presume that
produce
it's because I'm not trying to do a public
request.
records request. I'm trying to connect you with information that
Sure.
may already be in your office. So I would assume that's not really a public records request, but I don't want
So you're going to provide me with that information?
Right.
Okay.
And I will do my best to provide you with information or refer you to the path of least resistance.
Sure.
Sometimes people may be a little more hesitant to provide something to me that you may get with no resistance.
Okay.
So if I can possibly point you in the direction of where
Sure.
you would be able to get that with less hiccups and
Yeah, it sounds like
wasting other people's
sounds
time,
like a
I'll
plan to
probably
me.
do that.
Sounds
But
like a plan.
I don't want any misconfusion about the fact that I'm requesting you have access to a record to be converted essentially into a public records request. That's sort of what.
I think I see what you're saying.
Because
I-
a
yeah.
public records request can then be denied based upon law enforcement investigatory exemptions and whatnot. I'm trying to alert you to that
Gotcha,
actual
gotcha.
law enforcement investigatory
Okay.
information, I guess.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying.
I'm trying to avoid pitfalls that I've experienced in the past that
Gotcha.
I foresee based upon the complicated nature of all this may arise.
Sure.
So I'll do my best to help both of us avoid all
There
that.
we go. That sounds like a plan.
But thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you.
I got a few more things I got to go do.
Okay.
I won't keep you any longer. But
All right.
if I could firm up an appointment sometime with you, I don't know if Wednesday afternoon or Friday morning, either one of those works for you.
You know, why don't we, because I don't know what.
I don't know how much
my-
you are actually like in the court stuff and go by that schedule.
Yeah,
so.
actually, you know, why don't we just do Friday morning? That way, we've got plenty of time, and, you know, I mean, if we run out of time, I mean, it's not like, you know, we can't meet again. So
How early? How late? I can be here.
Why don't we go 9 o'clock on Friday?
9 a.m. Friday. All right.
All right?
Thank you.
All right, take
Again,
care, you have a good
You
weekend.
have a good weekend as well.
Thank you.
And we shall see how this progresses. Can't really see it through this dirty window, but it really is a picturesque courthouse, especially when you get a bunch of colorful clouds behind it. This dirty window does it no justice, but anyway. I'm off to tend to some other business. There we go.